Or you don't want to hire me because I have a lihya. Or I'm telling you that on Fridays I have to go to Jummah. They're like, oh, wait a minute, Friday is Jummah. Come on, man, this is middle of the day. You can't just leave work. Be like, look here, man. I'll work morning time, I'll work night time, I'll work overtime, I'll work weekend time, I'll work Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, I'll work any other time. But Friday at noon is Allah's time. See ya. I'm out of here. No matter what you say. When we begin to think like this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will begin to change your life, and He will begin to change our condition. And I'm not telling you this just from reading in some books. I'm telling you this because I have put it to the test over and over and over again. I wouldn't be here right now doing what I'm doing if I didn't put it to the test. I've done it, and I've seen over and over again how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never abandons His slave when His slave turns to Him. Never, ever, without a doubt. There was one point, just to give you a little personal experience. I don't like to put my personal stories in, but just to let you know, it works. And I've tried it many times. I had a job when I first moved to Florida. I was a new Muslim. Had left South Carolina and was trying to gain knowledge of my deen. And the only job I could take was a crazy construction job in Florida in the summertime. 90 degrees outside, man. 95 degrees with the humidity at like 87%. Outside dying, man. I'm not made for this type of stuff. And on Friday, but I was doing it because this was the only job I can find, and I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of me. I went on Friday and told my boss, look, I gotta go to Jummah. I gotta go. I'm gonna take a long lunch today, but I'll stay late. He was like, no, man, there's no leaving. You don't leave this work site. I'm like, look, this is my religious obligation. I have to go to Jummah on Friday. He was like, look, if you leave the job, then you're fired. I said, well, I'll see you in 2 weeks to get my check, because I'm out. And I left. I just left. And I said to myself, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for me, man. I don't need, no. I'm not going to violate my deen because I think I need something from the dunya. So I left, went to Jummah, not knowing how I'm going to get another job. Not knowing how I'm going to take care of myself. I went to Jummah, and I was leaving Jummah, and I made the dua during the two Jummah. One of the ones that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is never unheard from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I made one of those. So Ya Allah, my welfare is in your hands. I walked outside of Jummah, and there was a brother who had just come from Philistine, a sheikh from Philistine, one of the most knowledgeable brothers I've ever met in my entire existence. And he came from Philistine, and he owned a pizza shop in Al-Quds in Jerusalem. And he came here to open up a pizza shop and establish his family here because of all the fitna in Jerusalem at the time. And he came up to me afterward. He said, Brother Yusha, do you have a job right now? I said, actually no, I just quit today. He said, well, I need somebody to work for me. And he hired me on the spot and gave me double what I was making at the construction job. And this is just one instance of about 1,000 that I could give you of how when you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He never ever lets you down.